The Amjad-Trési Change Management Model is a joint work by Dr. Amjad al-Shbatat from Jordan and Tracy Jones from the United States. Around the world, organizations continue to invest heavily in transformation initiatives. Digital transformation, strategic change, national visions, restructuring, and organizational reform. Yet despite proven methodologies, most transformation efforts fail or underperform. Not because leaders lack strategy, not because frameworks do not exist, but because change is treated as a technical exercise, while its human reality is underestimated. Most global change models focus on how to manage change. This model focuses on something fundamentally different: how to determine the right way to manage change in the first place. The added value of this model lies in its core principle: change is not universal. Organizations are not identical. And transformation must be engineered in context, not applied by default. Rather than prescribing a single methodology, this model begins with institutional diagnostics, understanding culture, leadership maturity, decision dynamics, informal influence, and historical response to change. Based on that reality, leaders can adopt, adapt, hybridize, or even design the most appropriate change approach, instead of forcing one model onto every organization. One of the most critical additions of this model is how it addresses resistance in professional environments. In expert-driven organizations, resistance to change is not emotional, it is rational. Specialists, executives, and institutions resist change because they require logic, evidence, and proof, not slogans or motivation. This is why the model introduces shock negative and shock positive. Shock negative is an evidence-based narrative that demonstrates, through data, trends, and real scenarios, that maintaining the status quo is not safe. It proves that continuing with current practices will lead to failure, loss, stagnation, or systemic risk.
This is not fear-based communication, it is rational confrontation with reality.
Shock positive applies the same level of rigor to the future state. It demonstrates, with evidence, scenarios, and measurable outcomes, that adopting the proposed change leads to real, achievable, and sustainable improvement. When applied correctly, stakeholders do not comply emotionally. They align intellectually. They reach a point of clarity where the current state becomes indefensible and the future becomes undeniable. Another major global addition of this model is its foundation on healthy messages. Healthy messages go far beyond communication plans or stakeholder announcements. They ensure alignment between words and actions, individually, organizationally, across systems, and even at societal levels. Healthy messages connect mission, vision, goals, and daily behavior, making credibility visible and trust sustainable. In this model, messaging is not a support activity. It is a structural pillar of change. When words and actions are aligned, messaging becomes the foundation, the guide, and the catalyst for successful transformation from start to finish. To ensure this model is executable, not theoretical, artificial intelligence is embedded throughout its application. AI supports institutional diagnostics, sentiment analysis, resistance forecasting, personalized messaging at scale, and real-time adoption monitoring. Artificial intelligence here is not an add-on. It is the execution engine that transforms change intent into measurable behavior. Whether an organization is leading digital transformation, strategic change, national vision execution, restructuring, or any form of large-scale transformation, the challenge is always the same. Human adoption determines success or failure. Any organization can design change. Very few can make it stick, and this model exists to close that gap.